and you understand that if something is important to you, you will not skip that one particular thing. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, lads. Welcome back. Welcome back to Drive to Wealth. And today I'm just by myself, which is fine because today is Christmas. You know, Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. I know when this goes live, you already had New Year's also. So Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. I know it's late, but hey, better late than never. Anyways, today I wanted to share a story with you. Monish is not able to come just because we are different time zones, and because of Christmas we have different schedules. He offered it to me that we have a different timing. I can't because we are on the road in about an hour or so. So I squeezed this in here just to prove a point. And also I wanted to share a story that just happened. Well, it just happened yesterday. So I think it's worth talking about this because this defines your drive to wealth. Today is Christmas and I'm at my dad's in Las Vegas. And it's good to just leave my place for a while and just, recharge and get a different kind of environment in because, it's good. And I'm very glad I did. Last year I was at my mom's in Germany, and it's the same thing. I personally don't value holidays as much because I think personally relationships build without needing to have those holidays made up by society. And different countries have different holidays, so whatever. But it's okay. It's sometimes you need to just take care of relationships, and I think this is a great reminder for doing this. So, speaking of which, yesterday I had the pleasure talking to a multimillionaire, and surprisingly, not very surprising, for me it was a little bit surprising, he took the very traditional path of becoming wealthy. And how do I say this? I think this would be a nice add-on to one of our previous episodes where we talked about different ways of should you have multiple streams of income or not. So Monish and I talked about this in the previous one. So if you haven't checked it out, you know what to do here. Go down below and check out the episode of you don't need multiple streams of income, or do you? So he took, let's just call him Jeff because so you have a name. But Jeff said to me that, he told me his way to he became wealthy. So he has several hundred million in his bank account, whatever. But the way how he got it is surprising, and it proves the point of what we made in the previous episode. So he was very traditional. He went to school, college, did his PhD. He became a doctor and a medical doctor, and just practiced for several decades. I think 2 decades or so. And halfway through his career, he started investing into different, in different kind of in the stock markets, real estate, and business and angel investing. And angel investing, for what I've understood, this is just basically fuck you money that you can use because the return might not come ever back. But you could be having a unicorn and then you're gonna be as wealthy as Elon Musk, for example. Anyways, that's not the point here. The point is this. Yesterday, because he had that traditional way of becoming wealthy, his work ethics represent the very academic 9 to 5 kind of mindset, which is okay. I mean, we all drive to wealth in different ways. So wealth defined, like the definition of wealth for me might differ from you, and that's fine. But I just want to share this with you because this is a huge differentiator between an entrepreneur versus someone who becomes wealthy through the regular 9 to 5. And again, both are okay. It's just you need to understand the consequences of doing this, and that's that. So yesterday we came home late, around 7-ish, 7 p.m. And I wanted to get ready for the gym because I don't want to skip a gym day. Like, I've been going consistently to the gym for about, I got the number last week, but it was 160 days, I think, or 150 days consistently every single day. And this year I went to the gym 272 days out of the year, which is pretty okay. Could be better, but it's very, very nice to see. Anyways, my goal is not to skip gym. I want to set priorities for myself. I want to see how far I can push and move everything aside to accomplish this goal. This has nothing to do really with the gym itself. It's just for me personally that I can say, okay, this is what I want to do, and you guys have to adjust to my schedule, or we can find something else. But I will not move around my top priority. That's my borderline. This is why I'm doing this. And yesterday was exactly this, why I'm doing this. So yesterday, I met that multimillionaire Jeff, let's call him, and he said he invited us to dinner, and it was unexpected, so I wasn't very prepared, but I needed to go to the gym because I haven't gone to the gym that day or yesterday. And so he said, just skip, it's fine. And I said, no, I can't skip. This is not fine, but it's very important that you keep going, and you don't want to skip that one day. That one day defines of how you practice everything else in your life. And so we had that discussion about this, and he was very surprised about it. So we talked about the fact of goal setting and what's my goal. And I said, usually I don't share my goals as much or as detailed. So I just told him about the broad scale of what I want, and that's basically it. And he said, well, this is not very defined. You need to be defined. So I understood he is into this building wealth kind of topic involved in it. And this is how I found out that he has like multiple $1 million in his bank account or whatever. So that made me think, okay, interesting. So let me ask questions. In return, he asked a bunch of questions about my journey and whatsoever. And I said, okay, let's just return this and just turn this into finding out how he became where he is at and what path he took. And then, interesting enough, happened this that there was like a riddle, and the riddle was, how much do you think comes out of a penny if you double it for 30 days straight? And if you double it, how much money do you get? I guessed it wrong, but if you want to guess, well, drop it down in the comments what you think it is. No cheating, no calculator. This is not what I had either. But yeah, if you want to guess, just drop it down below. And I have a hair here that's in my vision over here. So, okay, you put in the number down in the description. That's cool. Now, the result is 5.4 million, or roughly about that. And the important thing is not the number itself, but the way how you get to the number. And the first 10 days or so, you are less worth than $10. And this is very important because this represents kind of your life. If you put in work for several days, several weeks, several months, you won't see much of a difference. And even me, as someone who's going to the gym for about 4 months now, and I just start seeing noticeable results from it. Meaning my biceps is growing, or my chest is growing, my neck is growing, my back is growing, my thighs, my glutes, my everything is growing now, and I just like start seeing results from it. And I think this represents more than just the gym. This represents more than just money. It's basically everything else in your life as well. Building relationships. It's not by talking to your gym crush. And speaking of this, I have a gym crush and I plan on speaking to her, but I haven't seen her since. So anyways, that's not the point here. The point is things take time, and only if you put in consistent effort and you understand that if something is important to you, you will not skip that one particular thing. For me, it's the gym. I have something I need the gym for, so that's why I cannot skip the gym. That's the only thing I can do at the moment for this goal to happen. But once it does happen, I'm prepared for it. And I can't wait to share this all with you guys. But until then, it's just, I guess, a secret. So stay tuned. You got to follow and subscribe to our podcast here, Drive to Wealth. Feel free to subscribe and find out sooner or later what the ultimate goal is. We talk about here 5 to 7 years. Until then, we just have to keep going and keep guessing, right? So then after this riddle, he said, okay, he invited us for dinner. And I said, I can't, but we can do this afterwards because I need to go to the gym. I cannot skip. And he said, no, it's fine. You can skip. And I said, no, I can't. And I don't want to because I have goals to hit, right? And then he said, no, it's fine if you skip once. And then I said this, guess what happens from your riddle? Guess what happens if you invest, 1 penny and you double it, but then you skip a couple of days. So instead of 30 days, it takes much longer to get there. And he said, okay, fair point. And then he understood my way of thinking of saying, hey, I don't want to skip this. This is non-negotiable. This is something I have to do, the same as with the podcast. And this is the next thing why I want to share this with you. So later at dinner, the topic became, okay, so do you want to take part of this chug contest? So there was like, you got free beer and then you can chug and whatever. And I said, no, I'm good. I just had 1 beer to just fit into the societal group. Also, I haven't had Weissbier. That's the beer I had for a long time. So for me, that was okay and acceptable to skip or just, make an exception that I don't drink alcohol because it's in moderation and it's controlled and that's it. But then it came to the point where the event was happening in the Hofbrauhaus here in Las Vegas. And, this another thing is you have to be strong because you will get extremely weird looks. And I cannot stress this enough. It makes you uncomfortable, and that's okay. This is not about, it's not about being comfortable. With this drive to wealth, the drive to wealth is not comfortable. This is not a comfortable drive. It is very uncomfortable. It is sometimes frustrating. I'm super far away from where I want to be and where I'm going to be, but I gotta tell you, you got to push forward. You got to keep going, and if something is important to you, do not allow anybody to negotiate about this. If something is important to you, regardless if it's a relationship, a investment, a personal skill you want. I learned still Spanish. I still have my streak. I skipped a couple of times meditation, but I reached my 365-day goal of continuously meditating here. So those things, if something is important to you, you need to, like, there's nothing that anybody should be able to negotiate about. This is not a topic to talk about. Anyways, the thing is this: he had a very traditional way of becoming wealthy, which is okay. And this applies to the episode I talked about the other day, or with Monish. And the thing is, either you have like that wealth in mind that you want to achieve, and that's absolutely fine. Those people, if you're one of those who have that drive to become just wealthy, financially free, and whatever you want to do, you can do it. There's nothing wrong with it, being in a 9 to 5 and putting money away for real estate, putting money away for real estate, for twice, for stocks, putting away into parking money in watches, or maybe like some other side hustle or whatever, or maybe angel investing into like companies. That's all fine. I'm not saying it's bad. But if you're one of those, like me, who have like a vision, and you have a strong vision of how things should look like in the future, 5, 10, 15 years from today, and this involves like your passion, and you want to build something upon your passion, all I can tell you is that most people cannot relate to you. You have a passion, you have a vision, and the vision is usually just confusing stuff to other people. They will not get why you want to be there. And I shared this with Jeff, let's call him Jeff, with him. I shared my goal with him, and the first question is why? And then I explained, because I love driving. And the next question is why? And it's because that's what I love. It's something in my system that wants to do this. And I can do this without wanting to have money with it. So technically, if I'm be able, and when I'm able to do this, I will be able to do this without getting anything in return. I will be the first driver that makes no money from becoming a driver. But now I shared it with you guys. But if you have listened to it, then there you go. I said it here first, on December 24th here on the podcast that's going to be somehow in the middle of January. Anyways, the thing is this: you cannot listen to people who have not the desire that you have, but you should take into consideration where they were coming from, and then if it's valid where they are. And if they are somehow where you want to be, and yes, I want to have multiple $1 million in my bank account, so it's valid what he's saying, but it's not applying to where I want to be. So, where I'm going. So those are the things that you need to be aware of when you start listening to advice from people, regardless if they have a huge bank account, regardless if they have multiple cars, if they have multiple mansions, whatever. Take everything with a grain of salt. So, and if I can tell you this is a short podcast, as you can tell, but if I can share one thing with you guys, wait a minute. If I can share one thing with you guys, is that making tough decisions will define where you end up. It goes with everything. Like I said, every aspect of your life has something to do with making hard decisions. Skipping gym, okay, if it's not the top priority of becoming, a bodybuilder or something like me, that's fine. You can skip 1 or 2 days, whatever, as long as it's just one a day in like a blue moon, whatever. But as soon as you have like a little bit of weight onto it because something depends on it and something that you really want to have in your life, you will not skip. Skipping is for pussies. You find a way. And even if you sacrifice sleep, if you sacrifice making it uncomfortable. I mean, this is not the best visual here for you guys, but this just, just want to represent this, what I mean and say and think of driving to wealth. It's about consistency. It's about not quitting when things get hard. And sometimes you have, it's a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie, it is. But the only way to get there is to push forward, because the uncomfortable situation will fade and then you move on with something easier again. But sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes it's not sunshine and rainbows, sunshine and rainbows. So for that being said, it's Christmas. I gotta go. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do me a favor, subscribe. And more importantly, I think this is more important than even a subscription here from you guys. Leave a review if you can. That would tremendously help us to get to more people that are like you, who want to drive to wealth, who want to achieve the impossible. And for that being said, love you guys and see you then.